Cavecast, the uncensored show for nerds of all kinds.
You know, growing up with with obviously mainly with you when I was younger, and like taking on your mannerisms and fun things like that, and just there's been some times that I've actually said things out loud like to a piece of technology or something, and I'm like, Mom has said that like 40 times in my life. And I'm like, it's just happening. Like, I don't know if it's because of age or because of anything else, but it's just, it just happens.
That old saying, I open my mouth and my mother comes out.
Oh, yeah.
I do it too.
Yeah.
She's never there. She's never gone.
Yeah.
She's always there.
She's always there.
Always there. Like Bob.
He's not gone. He's never gone. Yeah. Oh my God. I remember the first time you showed me that movie and I was just aggressively uncomfortable. The movie is a train wreck. Like it just is. And it makes me really wonder what it's like what was it like to write that movie and then bring it to like a studio and being like, all right, we're going to get Bill Murray. He's got a fish. He wears them on his neck. And he's got a lot of problems.
My bladder explodes.
Yeah. Oh my God.
That is a you're right. It's an uncomfortable kind of cringy movie, but just such a so much fun. Your dad and I went and saw that in the movie theater.
Really?
Uh-huh. We were in downtown
God.
Cleveland. You should have seen us trying to find the theater in one of these big ass buildings in downtown Cleveland. But I didn't want to go see it.
Oh, why didn't you want to see it?
I don't know. I just thought it looked stupid. And here's your dad going, oh, I really want to see this.
Well, I mean, he loved Caddyshack and everything, so it makes sense, So and Bill Murray is a slam dunk. He's great, but yeah.
Yeah. And I just remember being in this theater with him and watching this movie, and I'm like, damn it, I like it. Yeah. And I didn't want to say it. Because I pitched
baby steps, Mom.
Okay, thank you.
Baby steps.
Baby steps to the theater.
Baby steps to the car. Baby steps to everything.
I don't know why we were there. We were in Tower City. That's where we were. Tower City, below Tower City is the theater, I believe.
Okay.
That's why we couldn't find it. It's kind of one of those things. So I'm going to need more of this. I can tell.
Actually, yeah. So show everybody what your glass says.
Where? Where do I show?
It's right here. So up there.
Just, yeah. So it's my little ghost. It says, I'm here for the booze.
Booze. It's red apple juice today. That's what's happening. So, or tonight. Yeah, it's tonight. Not today. Apple juice. It's not daytime. It's well past 10. Everything's fine. So no,
it is past 10.
Actually, no, it is past 5 o'clock. So you're fine. So
well then,
so, have 4.
What am I saving myself for here?
Oh my goodness. But no, it's been a minute since you've been on, and the last time that we got to talk to you was just a lot of fun, and I think that we got to open the doors a lot for the audience to know some truths about growing up and what it was really like, because for whatever reason people are interested and they're like, I've got to know more, and just being able to talk to you is always, I mean, like this is what it's always like, just like whenever our family is around each other or when stuff's happening, like I know it's hard to believe, but we actually like each other. So
we do.
And it's quite nice. Yeah. It's really
helps.
Cool. Yeah.
Yeah. It's the reason people want to know is because you guys are truly different. You're brothers, but you're like cool brothers, and you like being together. Mm-hmm. You don't just do this because you have to. And so where I come in is I have all the dirt on you.
Yeah, this is true. Yeah. Yeah. So you have everything that everybody would want to know. So,
yeah. There's so much more. And when I walk away, I'm like, God, I forgot this. I forgot this. So
no, it just means that we're going to be able to have you on a lot more. That's something that, again, I don't know if this would ever become a consistent thing with like schedule and stuff, but I mean, it would be cool to, be like, all right, what fresh hell are we going to unpack this week that happened in the past? The endearing moments or like the fun moments or things like that. Like, it's just
it all
good.
Runs together.
It really does.
It kind of does. It's a little hard to be specific about certain things. Mm-hmm. I'll think, oh my gosh, I mean, the older I get, the harder it is to remember like specifically, but stuff does stand out. And when I go through old pictures, I get reminded of things that not that I forgot, but I'm like, oh, I forgot that Eric dressed up like a mummy and we wrapped him in 3 rolls of toilet paper. And it rained.
Oh no! So he was just Eric.
He was just Eric.
He was a mummy for like a good solid 2 minutes.
Yeah, it was probably a good 20 minutes, and then he started to unravel, and Heidi's follow. We're walking behind him, and she's going, "Stop, Eric Tyler! You gotta tuck in your foot." And and he was like completely annoyed by the time we got home. So yeah.
Sounds like a decent Halloween experience to talk about later. So honestly, that's one of the things that I wanted to do with this episode is kind of just like, as much as we can keep it spooky related or, talk about, different things like that. And
well, I've got Drew Barrymore on today.
Yep. Scream.
Yeah. Yeah. I'm sorry. Her eyes are on my chest.
So you had to make it weird.
What would have made that better?
Just like, these are her eyes.
They're here.
Eyes. Oh my goodness.
Okay.
So
and we're off.
So just it's not really horror related to start off, but I think still, it is a question that because we got to ask you about NF last time and what you thought about him and different things. And I know that Eric and I have talked about it on the podcast, but it's something that I really want to be able to get your perspective on is what do you think of Sleep Token? Just, this band that has just come out of nowhere. And because I know that there's probably a lot in their genre that you maybe normally wouldn't gravitate to. But as you said in the last one was that your palate's been widened. So,
oh gosh.
So what was the first one that you heard? Was it The Summoning, the first one that we did? Because I don't know if you dove into them at that point or had even heard them.
Anything by Sleep Token I've heard you boys react to. And I'm not, I'll be honest, I don't know what the names of those songs are. I can't even remember because there's so much. I'm hearing so much of all of these different genres and new bands, and I am just loving how much new stuff I'm loving. That came out terribly.
Well, no, I get you. Yeah.
Sleep Token is you had kind of a break from them.
Yeah, we did The Summoning, and then it really didn't hit us right at first, and then when we dove back in with the lyrics, and then that changed everything for us.
Yeah, because when you said Sleep Token, I have to think like, okay, are they going to scream at me? Are they like, I couldn't remember what kind of band they were. I really couldn't, and I just drink my coffee and like the video and watch you guys. And it is so, it's epic in a whole different way. From even the way NF hits me with his lyrics and the stuff. Why am I so bad at this? The lyrics just hit you differently, and it's so intense.
Yeah.
And when I see how you guys respond to it, especially Eric, Eric has such a different way of listening to something than you do. And I think that is what really makes Riker Road work. Is that you got two different things happening here. You don't just have two people going, great, that's great. Like
the head and,
it's you're both ingesting that in different ways. And I expect from you what I get from you as far as, if it's emotional or if it's like, guitars or whatever it is, musically and so forth, or even the quality of the video. You're like, you see that through different eyes than Eric does. And it isn't that he doesn't see it. He just responds differently. Like, And I know that when I've been there to listen to certain things, I mean, we all know that Mama zones out when she's recording. So I don't know what I'm going to say today. And whatever it is, I'm sorry. But I'll rewatch something. And I think what happens to me when I listen to something is that I'm just focused on it. And in my head, I'm just like, oh my gosh, this is like amazing. But it just kind of, and I'll rewatch it and I'll go, ooh, those guitars are nasty.
Yeah.
You know, and I just don't think I have that, I don't know, ability to show that when I'm sitting there with you at the moment, because I'm taking it in for the first time.
Right. Yeah.
But I just love the difference in how you boys do that. That's what makes it, first of all, it's entertaining, and it is just real. When people have tried to say before that, you know, this is not a first time you've heard this. And I'm like, well then, you know, thanks for playing.
Right. Yeah.
Keep talking.
No, people are going to say whatever they
Yeah.
want. So,
and that's fine. But I know that I wish I could be a little more outward with my reactions when I sit with you. But Sleep Token just makes you really feel something. And it's not just lyrics, their music just, I don't know how it can be better. I'm like, how can this song be better than the last one?
Right.
And how can this one be better? Better than the last one?
Yeah.
That's how I kind of feel about them. They're unbelievable.
Yeah. It's
I do love it. And I'm going to tell you a little secret is that I confused them, I think, with Lorna Shore. And the reason I did is because Will Ramos.
Oh, he did the vocal covers.
He did a couple vocal covers.
Yeah.
And that's what when I think of Will Ramos, that's what I think of. And I thought that he was singing for Sleep Token.
Right.
I thought it was him. And I'm like, no, Sherry.
Right.
No. I think I told you, did I tell you, am I talking too much?
No, no.
Did I tell you that I saw him on the One Girl's channel that...
Oh, the charismatic voice. Yeah.
Yes.
Yes.
Yeah.
No, she is phenomenal.
She's great.
Awesome. Yeah.
And he was listening to Electric Callboy for the first time.
Yeah. Wasn't it We Got the Moves?
It was
I
We
think
Got
it was
the
the
Moves.
most recent one they did that I saw, but yeah.
Yeah. It took him 18 minutes, but
Yeah,
they
right.
listened to it. But the way he responded to that, and he's like, I just have never heard these guys before. And I remember sitting in my chair going, I have.
Right. Yeah.
I've heard something that Will Ramos hasn't heard.
Yeah.
Yeah, I'm totally the best, coolest mom ever.
Yeah.
So,
Well, it's the truth. I mean, you are. So that's not just for brownie points. It is the truth.
it's the cup. It's the cup. And you know, Drew's eyes. So, yeah, I just think Sleep Token's on an island of their own.
Yeah, that's actually a really good way to put it.
You know, they just kind of.
Yeah, I think that what really has drawn me to them is the fact that, you know, being able to know that, you know, you are kind of piecing together a story of, you know, whether or not this real thing happened to him with this, you know, this deity or, you know, with this goddess or whatever. That because I think that somebody said something to the effect of that. I don't know if he was like in a coma when it happened or if it was just a dream that he had. I'm sure that if anybody's watching, they'll let us know for sure what it is, because I've seen tons of different stuff about what people have said, but I don't know. I think that there's so much that we haven't unpacked, and so much that, you know, like it's just, you know, especially like for us, like going through the songs that we have, and it's just to me there's a personal, just deep prolonging, just like, you know, just nature that's in all of Vessel's music that is just it's again just like an onion, like every layer you keep peeling back there's just something else to see, and there's something else to know. Like a rap beat's going to come out of nowhere, you know, and it just happens so fluidly. Yes, it's so intense.
It is. I don't remember the last one you heard, but what it was, but
That was Dark Signs.
Good Lord. That was fantastic.
Mm-hmm.
And it's so funny because your dad and I were having a conversation the other day, and he's like, I find it funny that I'm over here like getting into like not easy listening. He's leaning towards like, he goes, you know what? I like Air Supply. And I like this.
Right on.
You know, like and he's mellowing in his music when he was a metalhead back in the day.
Because I remember the one time I was over, it was before like, we had all like moved in together. And he had his computer in his bedroom and he was listening to something and he put the headphones on you and you were like, oh my God, what's that? And you're like, it's Metallica, it's new. And I think it was Saint Anger when it came out.
Yeah, probably.
But he's always had that edge to him. So that's interesting that now he's kind of, taking a different approach.
He's going the other way. And I enjoyed, I want to say, normal 80s music. I don't know what even that means.
Yeah, right.
But as I'm getting older, and I think that Riker Road has done it to me, I think I'm going through my second rebellion. Just like, I can just turn on The Who or Falling in Reverse or, Theory of a Dead Man.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
They just kick your ass it's just cranking in my car. And the guy 2 doors down from us, his name is Cody. And Cody has been introduced to Riker Road this past summer. And so I think he's watched enough videos. And when I pull in, Cody will be out there raking leaves or something. And I'll get out there and he's like, hey, Riker Road Mom.
It's like, what's
hey,
up?
Hey, Cody. Just getting home from work, But yeah, I do. I feel, I just feel differently about music and I'm enjoying just having more variety of it. And when you throw in something like Sleep Token, well, shit.
Right. It's honestly, it's one of those that none of us are ever ready for it. It's on a whole different level. And it's like we selfishly are going through it just because, like we want to know, like we don't really like, there's no like, I'm careful on how I say this. Like, we get copyright claimed a lot with them. And I don't think that we've like, it's like Blackpink or whatever. Like we've talked about it on lives where like, we don't get paid with those, or there are certain artists that we just don't get paid on, and Sleep Tokens. Like we don't care. We are on this journey and we are just discovering it and people love it, and it's like, there's true interaction that happens on that. So yeah, it's nice.
That's just so foreign to me. How?
Yeah. Well,
that doesn't work sometimes.
None of us will ever understand how YouTube works in its monetary way. But the one thing that I am excited to jump into is that we do have a bunch of podcast questions for tonight, specifically about the spooky season and about Halloween. And I wanted to just give you a chance to be able to kind of just talk about some stuff, and we can kind of just bounce off each other. But so. Mars Bar, I believe is his name. It's all one word. He asks, what's your favorite horror movie of all time? Because I think I might know, but I don't. Okay. But I don't know if it's that simple. So it's like, if you really like, because you've always been a huge horror fan. From like, even from a young age, like I know, like, it was always on, or like, there would be like, I remember being young and watching The Devil's Advocate, like being in the room or whatever. And
your dad.
And dad being like, oh, you can't see that. But cause that was before the internet. We didn't know what was going on. We got a VHS tape from Blockbuster and hope for the best. So
my first gut instinct is just to say Halloween 1978.
I was just going to say that.
Yep.
That was because that's iconic for you, because you and Heidi and Lisa?
And Elisa. Mm-hmm.
Yeah. So, cause I'm actually really curious about that. What was it like to take in Halloween for the first time? Like, because I know that it left a lasting impression, but again, I don't have that perspective. Because if it's, clearly it didn't bother you that much, in the long run, if it's your favorite, scary movie. But I imagine that probably, like, for like the fresh, like, of coming home and everything, like what was that whole experience like for you to experience that movie for the first time?
That was horrifying. I am not kidding. Now, just, if the young people, bless your little hearts, can just try for a minute to put yourselves in 1978, going to see a movie like that for the first time is never had anything like that before.
Right.
And
wasn't it like technically like one of the first, if not the first slasher movie? It's like, I'm sure there was maybe something
for
before.
me, I guess. I know Texas Chainsaw was like an oldie but a goodie, and that didn't appeal to me a whole lot. Like then I didn't,
Sure.
that wasn't, but there was something about the simplicity, I think, of Halloween. At least I see it now, where, you know, they had so little to work with in that movie. And the acting, I mean, could be a little campy, but you know, hell, I mean, you know, some guy in a white mask was chasing me, I'd grab a coat hanger too. I would grab whatever I could find. You know, but what it did was, it was the first movie, I think, that really brought horror to your front door.
Oh, okay. Yeah. You weren't like out at a cabin in the woods.
No.
It was just,
It came in your home. And he never stops. He just never stops. And I really thought, to me, even today, I think the storyline of that movie is pretty brilliant.
It is. Yeah.
Because, you know, once you get it, once you have to see number 2 to understand why he's targeting her, of course. But that all comes together, and it doesn't have to be complicated. He's just a sick individual that just had unfinished business, so he decided to come back. You know, so that one truly scared me. Actually, I think was it Aunt Heidi and Elisa and I? It might have been just me and Aunt Heidi. But I know that your papa picked us up.
Oh, papa. Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah.
He dropped us off and picked us up over at the little theater that we know and love and is now gone. And
it's now a CrossFit or whatever. Yeah.
Yeah.
I don't want to get fit now.
Yeah, no. And so I was supposed to spend the night at Aunt Heidi's, and
oh, that's right. Yeah. Okay.
So, pulled into the driveway, and this is so stupid, but it was terrifying because I'm coming off this movie. Right?
How old were you guys at this time?
Well, 1970. Don't make me do math.
Well, no, so like you were in high school, so like what? Like
15.
Oh, really? It was that early?
15, 16, it was 78. I graduated in 83, carry the 2. I don't know. I mean, I might have been a freshman, but yeah. And so I got out of the car. They were waiting for me. And so I unlocked the door, and your grandma wasn't home. It was just the 2 of us. Grandma wasn't home, and we had kind of that big ranch house. Big sprawling ranch house. And I opened the door, used my key, and I walked in, and I heard this horrible sound, this horrible, horrible buzzing sound. And it was like piercing. And I just remember that it just froze me. And I walked backwards out that front door. And Heidi goes, we looked over, and there you were, just walking backwards with this awful look on your face. And I had the door open, and Papa's like, what's the matter? I go, I'm not going in there. I'm like, Dad, something's wrong. He went in there, and here your grandma made, she made something in the oven. And back then, before we had digital, ovens, had a little dial that you turned. Click, click, click. And so if you turned it off and you went past the 12, it goes over again. And the
oh my God, that is
the oven buzzer was buzzing. It was terrifying. So went to Aunt Heidi's. I went in, grabbed my shit as fast as I could, and he stood at the door. Waiting.
Papa.
Nothing's going to hurt you. And I remember I got in the car and I said, floor it.
Get out of here.
Went down the hill, and she and I went and slept in the basement because that's where she'd like to hang out over the weekend. And we had a little bitty TV down there. And then she turned it off, and it was pitch dark. And I woke up in the middle of the night. I couldn't see anything. And I remember going, Heidi. Hi, and she's sound asleep, and I woke her up, and I'm like, turn on the light.
Dude, Heidi's just not afraid of anything.
She wasn't afraid of anything.
She
was
fearless.
That's one of the times she was truly annoyed with me. And she just like got up and like walked over, clicked, her eyes are closed. She goes back and she says, I turned on the light and there you are with the blanket like up to here. I was horrified.
Yeah, because that'll stop a butcher knife.
Yeah. It seemed like a good idea at the time.
Yeah. You're in your fight or flight moment of like, what do I do? Bring it up. Yeah.
And the other one that I want to say really, really scared me. Oh gosh. Now see, I think Jeepers Creepers is terrifying. I think Jeepers Creepers, that I'm not a monster person, but he's scary.
Yeah.
He's just scary. That's another one that just doesn't quit.
No. It's only, well, we kind of talked about it the last time, but it's kind of like the only thing that will stop him is if you can outrun him or avoid him for the whole 23 days.
Oh, hell, you can't do that.
Yeah, no, nobody can.
Who decided that was I think you can do it. The fucking thing flies.
Right, yeah.
I'm sorry. I'm trying not to be white trash today.
I'm not trying to be white trash.
It happens every time I sit in front of a camera. But The Strangers.
Oh my
bothers
God, yeah.
me deeply.
That now it's what would you say is the thing that bothers you the most about that? Because I know the moment that really got me, and it was actually because of the time when when was it? We were living in the duplex, and for whatever reason, you and Dad had left. I think you guys may have gone to see Grandma Shirley. I think it was kind of like at the tail end of like when all that stuff was happening, but but I was kind of being left home alone at that point, but I was old enough, where it was like, look, we're going to be gone from like 6 to midnight. We're going to go see Grandma. Like, we'll be back, we're going to do this, like make sure you have the doors locked. And I remember before you had left, you had said, hey, you need to be aware of this, is that make sure everything is locked, everything is secured, because there's been like news reports of people just walking into people's houses and just
God, I said that to you?
Yeah. And because the thing is, you weren't like trying to freak me out, but you were like, it was one of those things like both of you have always been very honest with us about like what's going on. Dang. And like, so like, I was kind of like, okay.
I could have just said, lock the door, Kyle. No, I had to scare the hell out of you.
No, well, it's honestly like, it really didn't bother me that much, because I was just kind of like, so do what I normally do. Got it. Like, I'm not just going to be like, come on in, but no, it was a couple years later. That was when The Strangers came out. And it was it was based on real events. And the moment that got me was when Liv Tyler is smoking the cigarette in the middle of the cabin, and he is just in the background, just staring at her
with that bag on his head.
Like there is something just so visceral about that movie.
Yeah.
It's so intense. Like how did that movie impact you?
Oh, well, first of all, I have a love-hate relationship with that movie because I love the house that they're in. I think that was a beautiful, perfect setting for them to be in, because it reminded me of the house I grew up in.
Oh yeah.
It was reminded me of like the 80s houses with like all the wood and the fireplace and all of those things. It just had all of those feature characters of that. So there's something kind of just almost comfy and nostalgic about it. And then so I take this beautiful place that I love, and then these horrible people just come in.
Yeah.
And I think it felt a little traumatizing in that regard. But just the sheer thought of that, being a thing and how it happened. And I think the other one that is for me is equally as scary in that regard is the remake of When a Stranger Calls.
I will say that as much as I didn't like the ending to that movie, that was a very well executed remake.
It was.
I remember being let down by the trailer when they revealed the twist of the movie, where it's like the call's coming from inside the house, and it's like, well, that's what made the original one so great, was that he was there the whole time. So but no, like that was I don't know the actress's name that played the main character, but she was phenomenal. She did a great job.
And there again, they brought that movie into, was it the 90s? Was it the early 2000s?
It was early like 2000s. Yeah.
And so you had a whole different type of house, almost like a smart house with these rich people that she's babysitting for. Yet that house really worked with all the glass and everything, that you were kind of vulnerable in that house, and it was in the middle of nowhere. So I kind of felt like the house itself was its own character.
Oh, absolutely.
And worked with that storyline. And listen to me talking like I know what I'm.
You're
like I know what I'm saying, but it's just how it strikes me. And so yeah, Halloween is actually, I just never get tired of that movie. I didn't mind Rob Zombie's version either. I thought it was a little more aggressive. Gave a little more background on Michael, which I appreciated. I'll watch anything, you guys. I mean, come on.
Let's say I've come home and you've been watching some very obscure stuff before where I'm like, you chose this? I'm like, okay, I guess this is what we're doing.
Yeah, it was a long day.
So I did want to kind of touch on this because Genix wants to know, have you ever had a paranormal experience? And you obviously, if anybody has seen the scary story that you and I worked together on of your true experience, that was, probably the best way to know about everything. But I mean, as far as just like paranormal stuff that's happened to you, like, has that been the only thing that's ever happened, or like what are some other experiences that you've had?
Just go to Kyle Wright 425 and watch Darren. There you are.
Yeah.
I want to say that's really about the only thing that I can say I've experienced at your Aunt Heidi's house.
Oh yeah. Yeah.
Nothing to that degree, of course, but I've been in her house before, and heard things. I remember she said one time she was driving up to pull in the driveway. Aunt Heidi lives alone. Yeah. Yeah. Okay.
And lives predominantly and mainly on Indian burial ground. Like it's everywhere out there.
That's just never good.
No,
that's
never.
Never a good thing.
No.
But she said she was coming up the street and getting ready to pull into her driveway, and she saw somebody pull her curtain back and look out the window.
Yeah, because didn't she say she thought that it was either Eric or me?
Yeah, she thought
one of the kids is home or something.
That's right. That's right. Because we were living there.
Yeah.
And she, no, there wasn't anybody there.
Oh my God. Yeah. Like it's like, what do you do? Like, it's how do you just turn on the TV and sit on the couch? Like that's the stuff that like really gets to me, where I'm just like, I thought somebody was home. Like,
if that was me, I'd have kept driving.
Right.
But not your Aunt Heidi. She goes in there, and she'll flip on every light and she'll be like, who the hell is in here? Yeah. She's not afraid of nothing.
Where are you, you little creep?
Yeah. The power has gone off, before in her house when she knows like the breaker has God. And she just grabs a flashlight and in the dark and stomps down the steps. Like, I gotta work in the morning. That's Heidi.
Yeah.
So no, nothing really scares her.
No.
But she did tell me, because we've watched a lot of scary stuff together.
Yeah. Oh yeah.
And, but she will not watch The Strangers, and she will not watch anything like that because she says, I don't do home invasion movies.
No.
I don't blame her.
No.
Not me. I'm stupid. I just watch them all. Then your dad takes off for West Virginia, and then then I'm there by myself, and this sucks.
What's funny is that like it's not like, a consistency that I will have the house to myself at all. But the thing is that there are times that like whenever I do that, like even last night before I went to bed, like it comes from just the fact that it's like, look, I am the only person that's here, at certain times. And I go through, I check every room. I make sure all doors and windows are locked, because I don't know if you've ever seen the, different like Reddit like posts and stuff, like it'll be like on a short or something or like a TikTok, and it says what was it? It said basically people could say this anonymously if they had ever done it. They said home invaders and people that have either been involved in robbery or anything like that, what are some tips to people for people to be able to protect themselves? And the main answer that people kept saying that they were like, lock all your shit. They're like, one of the people that was on there, again, like you couldn't tell who said it because it was just some anonymous account, but they said, they were like, that's how I got into all the homes that I did, because nobody locks their windows. God. And it's that's just something that I've done and made sure that I'm just like, no, like every single time, I make sure that any way that is into my house is as barricaded as possible, whether it's a lock on a door or whether or not it's a chain or anything else.
God, I'm a sitting duck.
So
I'm different than your dad. Your dad's all about locking everything. So I'll go to open a window and I can't open it. And I'm like, damn it, Mike, can I open this window, please? But when he's home, your dad's, my husband is up all night. He's a third shifter till ride or die. So that's how that is. Since
I've known him, he's been that way. Yeah. We never had to worry about anybody home invading with him, because he was always around.
And when he does take those trips with Grandpa, and they'll be gone 3 or 4 days. And granted, your brother's there, but he's got headphones on and he's in his room. And somebody could wipe us out and he'd never know.
He could not be bothered.
No, right. Not at all.
He's in his own little world.
So, but I feel it when your dad's not there, because it's like your watchdog is gone.
Sure.
I guess in a sense. But I'm better with it now than I was, but I do lock windows when he's gone.
Yeah.
It's just, and where we live is lesser likely.
Sure.
Is that a word?
Sure. No, I get you.
It's not like we're, in a dark place or surrounded by forest or anything like that. So, but yet again, you just still I lock the basement door.
Yeah.
Even, somebody wants to come in through the basement. The steps make enough noise, I'll hear them anyway. If they want to throw in a load of laundry, that would be great.
Actually, if I ever told you what I want to do to my house one day.
No.
I for this very reason is that I want to get a security system that if somebody breaks in, all of the lights turn red and Mick Gordon's BFG division starts playing. That way I can come out with my bat like, you chose the wrong fucking house, dude. Because at that point, that should scare them enough, because again, I know that I can't do shit, but if I can just make it seem like I can, that's even like when I was working out, I'm like, I don't care if I can bench 100 pounds, but if it looks like I can, then that's all that matters. I'll take any drastic measure I can.
All I could think about when you were saying that too was, there's an episode of The Golden Girls where Rose gets scared.
Oh, she has the gun?
And she gets scared. No, she thinks somebody's wife is trying to get her, I guess. And so she installs a doorbell. When it rings, all these dogs bark.
Oh yeah.
And Dorothy's like, oh, thanks, Rose. I was often wondering, why doesn't our doorbell bark? Oh, look, the man's running away on the box.
You either love The Golden Girls or you're wrong.
Oh, yeah, that's right. Yeah, don't even
It's so good.
Yeah. So, man. Okay.
So when it comes to circling back to the paranormal.
Yeah, sorry about that.
No, you're good. It's the paranormal experience stuff. Pretty predominantly, I would say that if you guys do want to be able to know like what Mom has been through, it's a 110% true story. It is something something that you have, you didn't like tell it to us in a way where it was like, oh, let me scare you with this or whatever. It was just like, no, this happened. Like these very specific things happened. And that's what I think is really incredible about the story that you have, is because it is so unbelievable that like, it's that whole thing where it's like, it's kind of that mentality of it's too stupid to make up. Like, or it's too scary to make up. Like that's how I've always looked at it.
The fact that particular story took place, it took years for that to stop. And I'm still unsure of why it stopped. I think I might know why, but just in the sense that I just know from there were many elements to that whole experience. I most of the time I was by myself, but that one time when I had to have Aunt Heidi there.
Yeah,
and
I was gonna say, no, go ahead, keep going.
Well, no, I mean, like I just, like, is it just me? You question everything, but since that's happened, I am not a chaser of hauntings or. I mean, we like scary movies, but that's to entertain us, and
it's also not in our home. Yeah, right.
But when I hear somebody tell their story, I am more apt to be open to what they're saying anymore, because especially you bust out a Ouija board, man, you're asking for it.
Yeah,
I don't care who you are.
Yeah.
Mama says no.
Yeah.
It says Mattel on the box. That thing came straight from hell.
Yeah.
So learned a lot of lessons.
Well, it's one of those that, I think that, again, I do not condone using a Ouija board, but in the same hand is that, there's some people that have talked about it, that they're like, the reason why people have hauntings or they have issues is that, or the big reason I've heard is that they don't say goodbye. Is that they're like, if you ever do a session, that's what you're supposed to do, is that you say goodbye to them, and like that's supposed to be like the we're done, like get away, like, or whatever. But in the same hand, where it's like, I don't know, like what's predictable or what isn't.
Well,
so
hell,
like,
I'd have done that a long time ago if I'd have done that.
Yeah. It's just, I don't know, like that's an area that I will not mess with. Like that's because it's, again, like I don't want it in my home, or whatever. Like I don't judge people that do it, but it's still that idea where like if somebody were to break it out at a party, I'd be like, I'm going to step outside until this is done.
Oh,
like I just, that is just my preference. Like I don't want to be anywhere near it just because you open doors you can't close. Depending on like how you handle everything or what goes on, and what you're talking to.
No, I don't think everybody that does it has something bad happen to them.
Sure.
I just think sometimes you just get lucky.
Right.
Yay. Yeah. Yeah. Don't do it, kids.
So let's see here. Next question. Let's see. Vortex wants to know, what's your best memory from trick-or-treating when you were younger? What was like an experience that you really enjoyed? Like, was there a costume that you wore, or was there anything like how into Halloween were you when you were a kid? Was that ever like something big? Because I know you grew up with Grandma Dora, so I don't know if like she like really allowed that, or if that was because I know she's like. I mean, she's just a very God-fearing woman. So, so I don't know what that's like. I've never actually asked you. I don't even know, like.
Well, we didn't have people telling us back then that it was bad. So,
oh, really?
No. Hell, I don't know. That was a long time ago. Now, wait, if I think hard enough. Okay. I want to say. Okay, yeah, I remember. I was probably in grade school. I had to be in grade school. And I wanted to be a princess. What little girl doesn't want to be a princess? And we had those horrible masks that cover your face and you can't breathe and you're sweating and you don't know you're uncomfortable. You just are.
It's like paper or metal. You can't tell.
Oh, it was horrifying.
Yeah.
And I had to carry a pillowcase, I think. That's what every kid used. We didn't have like cool stuff from Dollar Tree that you could go down and throw your candy in.
Pumpkins or like witches or anything else.
Nothing blinked. We didn't have. It was pitch dark. Anybody could have taken us. But we trick or treated in like groups. Like you go. I mean, mostly, one parent or two parents, those poor souls had to follow like six of us around and got to walk.
I get a Snickers when this is done.
Yeah.
Yeah, right. Or something.
Yeah. That was, and the reason I say that one is because I loved my costume. I loved how that felt. To this day, I can't tell you at all what else I was. I might have been like a Casper the Friendly Ghost before. I mean, I don't know what was popular back then.
I mean, Casper is definitely a big one.
Yeah,
So.
yeah, that was a big one. When I was 16, I had a sweet 16 birthday party.
Oh, yeah.
And that was super fun. I couldn't believe how many showed up and wanted to come to my birthday party. I didn't know that many people liked me. But
I mean, you are likable, you know, so.
So then I had a big slumber party. The boys had to go home and then the girls stayed.
Yeah.
So this is what your grandma was like. Your grandma was totally cool. It was her, and was it Annie? Aunt Annie.
Oh, Aunt Annie.
Yeah.
Oh my God.
Yeah. Aunt Annie's a whole nother podcast. But anyway, she was so cool. Somebody else drove with us. We had 2 cars full of girls. And because my birthday is close enough to Halloween, you know, that we kind of just like did it that way. So next town over had a haunted house.
Oh,
so we decided to go, you know, do the haunted house, and your grandma, you know, took everybody there. And so it's a little town, probably 2 streetlights.
You're now entering Rhode Island.
Yeah,
You're now leaving Rhode Island.
Yeah, kind of like that. And so we're sitting at a red light, and I'm not kidding. Maybe, I don't know, a couple cars. I don't know. There wasn't anybody around. And so we're in front. I'm in the car with your grandma and the car behind us. And we're sitting at a red light and nothing's happening. And your grandma goes, Chinese fire drill.
Oh my God.
And we all bust out. And anybody that doesn't know what a Chinese fire drill is everybody gets out of the car, you run around the car twice and you get back in and you go. And so the car behind us, all these girls are going, and it was just so fun. And before we could take off, woo, here come the lights. And a police officer pulled both of us over. And so your grandma gets out and she sweet talks this guy. I don't know.
Smooths her way out of a ticket.
He might have took her to dinner. I'm not sure. But he said to her, more parents should do what you're doing with these kids.
Oh.
And he pulled in front of us and escorted us all the way.
Oh, God bless him.
All the way. So that was a fun.
Yeah.
Not exactly a trick or treat, but that was fun.
No, it's honestly, I think that the older I get, the more that I appreciate grandma, like like how everything happened. Like, cause it's kind of like the mentality of, you know, like we've talked about Uncle Rex before, but you know, like we thought everybody had an Uncle Rex. We thought everybody, you know, just had these just slam dunk people in our lives that were just so much fun, you know? And it's interesting that I have such a long list of people that have just been such a blessing to me throughout, like, you know, just every hard thing that I've gone through and then every good thing that they've been a part of too, you know. And it's growing up with Aunt Heidi was one of the coolest experiences I've ever had. And it's the fact that she even made, she took the little things and made them big in the best way always, you know, and she still does. Like, I mean, she's incredible just with everything, you know, and she's the one house that every kid's afraid to go to on Halloween. You know,
You guys, she's terrifying.
Yeah.
She's black, covered in black from head to toe, lace, and so she's like a wicked witch with these big long nails, and she goes like this.
Yeah.
You want candy? You gotta come up here, and kids are like, I ain't going up there.
No. She's my aunt, and I wouldn't go up there.
Yeah, her porch is decked out. It's scary.
I think there's a picture of me when I was wrapped up, like I did like the album cover for Skillet's Awake. And,
yes, you did.
And it's somewhere. The picture is either a hard copy or it's a digital. But I like pretended to be like her Igor and was like next to her, like, I'm so sorry, like don't feed me bugs again or something, like, and because it was. She always just set an atmosphere that was so cool with that, because I remember the first year that I lived with her, because I think it was like right after I had like made the decision to be with you full time.
Right.
Like, and so every holiday would happen. So like I got to experience like what she did. And I just remember she turned off all the lights in the house. She has that huge ass stereo system.
She still has that.
Right. And it's still great. And it still works. Like that thing is older than me and it's amazing, you know? So it's just, no, she would grab like whatever Halloween scary sounds, and they were really messed up.
They were.
And she would just crank it to 11 and just sit outside, had all the windows and like open with like the screens and stuff. And it would just pelt you in the face as you're walking down the hallway, walking down the drive. I can't speak. The sidewalk.
Up the sidewalk?
Yeah. Down the hallway at her house. No, and she never said a damn word. No. She never spoke anything. She never gave you a, hey, happy Halloween or a nod. Nope. It was just, here's your candy. I'm just not going to say anything.
But she bought the good candy. And if you wanted the good candy, you had to go see the scary lady up the driveway. Yeah.
Get the big Reese cups and all that stuff.
Sick.
Yeah. Sick. My God. It was cool because there was that. And then there was the one house in our hometown that it was like every high schooler would be in the front lawn. And it was like, can you get, the candy and like get past them or whatever? Because they would have like chainsaws without chains in them and they would chase you and stuff, or like weed whackers. I remember walking past it one time and being like, this is it? I was expecting it to be a lot worse, but I guess maybe if I had actually tried to, I didn't walk up, but like I assume if I had, it probably would have been more intense. But
that's what your brother does.
Yeah, he does a great job at it.
He's terrifying. He's not here to defend himself tonight. So Eric is open season.
Oh my God. Duck season, rabbit season, duck season, fire. Still to this day, that is the one thing that absolutely kills me because I think that actually the reason why it kills me so much is because of how hard it made you laugh. Was Porky Pig as Friar Tuck. And he's just laughing his ass off at Daffy Duck. It's like, you're not Robin Hood.
Remember when he stops laughing and a tear drops and he just keeps going?
He's just,
oh my God.
Oh God.
My other favorite one is Robin Hood. Yikes and away.
Hike and away.
He hits every tree coming down. Oh my gosh. You poor people. I'm so sorry.
Every single Looney Tune has suffered so much brain damage.
Oh gosh.
It's so horrible.
Well, what you do now is that you just get a couple bottles of wine and put that on the big screen. Oh yeah.
Oh my God.
It's better when you're older.
There was actually a time that when Eric had Chandler over and he threw on Looney Tunes and I was like, oh sweet. Okay, cool. Like I'm about this, I'm still 9. I just pay taxes,
right.
That's what I've said before, but no, it was one of the most disturbing things I've ever seen because, like, let's be clear, like Looney Tunes is aggressively violent, but it's not like it's playful violence.
Yeah,
it's not like
slapstick.
Yeah, like somebody gets an anvil dropped on their head, they're kind of messed up for a little bit, and then they go right back to chasing them, and they're back in whole, but no, it was this. I don't know why it happened, but for some reason. Bugs Bunny got like aggressively huge, like to where like he was like my 5,000-pound life, where he was just this like ginormous thing.
Oh, I think that was a Jekyll and Hyde thing going on.
Well, it was in the new one.
Oh,
it was in the new series.
Okay.
And he deflates, and he's like Mr. Fantastic, and his arms are like a mile long, and he knows that Elmer Fudd wants to wear him, so. He starts wrapping around his limbs like a snake, and he's like, wear me, Doc. And it just becomes like a nightmare in 3 seconds. And you're like, what is happening?
My God.
Just like the people that are writing these things and making the stuff, they are completely out of their fucking minds. Like it is just.
Oh, they're all wasted. Yeah. Those are the people that should make all the cartoons.
Right.
Yeah. Best stuff ever.
Oh my God.
I want to be on the committee that just sits around the table and thinks shit up. I want to name all the crayons. I want to give, like raunchy names to your makeup. I want to do all of that stuff. I think would be outstanding in that field.
We'll call this one Inner Butt Cheek Pink. or something. I don't know. Like
Listen, when I can't believe I'm going to say this. The lipstick you wanted to stay away from.
Oh fuck. Yeah.
Was Come Fuck Me Red.
Oh, really? Oh,
Yeah.
I thought it was Deep Throat.
Yeah, that came after.
Oh God.
So I don't look good in red though.
Oh my God.
So I don't look good in red. I wore my Lily Munster lipstick today because I thought that it might. I don't know. I don't know what it's doing.
It fits everything that's going on.
Know.
So yeah.
I am not know, it takes me 4 minutes to do this. And I look in the mirror and I go, well, all right, this is just, I'm done.
My mentality is always is my teeth brushed? Is my hair to the right? I'm good. So
I always figure, I don't know why I bother. It's just me in color. Anyway, next question.
I think we're pretty much going to wrap it.
Oh, come on.
No, the rest of them we kind of like answered here and there, so it's one of those because I would love to be able to answer all 15 of your questions or whatever it was, but we would need a lot more time to be able to do that. But no, it's, I guess what my question for you is, as far as this year, because you always do like a really cool like get together at your house and you always like do stuff like that. So like, what are you excited for this year? Is there anything like, is it pretty much going to be the same old, or what are you feeling?
Oh, every year I get so excited for that party because, that started because trick or treat is right in the middle of dinner time.
Right. It's no longer when it's dark or anything like that.
Yeah. I'm clearly not on that committee. But anyway, it just landed like right at supper time. So your dad and I decided just to take like, his crock pot of chili and stuff outside so that we could eat while we were handing out candy. And then we started adding more and more. And then we just like, well, maybe somebody would like to come over. So now on trick or treat night, if you're hungry,
yeah, the parents can stop by, get a hot dog,
or thirsty,
or thirsty. Yes,
It's just the family comes over, and I'm excited this year because there's going to be, I think, a lot more of us.
Yeah,
should
be good.
I think that we're going to have a really good crew. We have a fire pit. One trick or treat. It was so cold. And we had the portable fire pit and we had that thing burning behind us and all the kids wanted candy and all the parents wanted to stand behind the fire.
Gotta stand over here, smoke a cigarette.
Yeah.
Like, these damn kids.
Yeah. And so now when, if we see people we know or, anybody that, just is because they, we're in a super good spot for trick-or-treaters and we love it. We have our torches outside and, just let them burn. And we stay open way late. So we try to let people know that we still have candy. And it's, the kids like fire. Kids see fire, man, they come running. But we can tell people, if you're hungry, go grab a hot dog. Go get some chili. So we prepare for that now.
Yeah.
And it's fun. It's really fun.
Well, I think that it's even something that even Sammy said to me a while ago. I think it was when we were like maybe, I don't know, like 11 or 12 or something. But, because like we would always like go in groups like together, like, to go like trick or treating, that the whole, the pillowcase thing you're talking about. Like we would just like go out and do our thing. And I remember she was saying that, I remember when my grandma was talking about like when they were younger that, when you would go to a house, you could go into somebody's house and have a piece of pie. And like they would,
absolutely.
And they would welcome you or whatever. You get to chill in there for a little while. It'd be just a brigade of kids just wolfing down an apple pie, and it's like now
we walked in strangers' homes all the time,
right? And it's
they didn't lock us in the basement or anything.
No, no screams from the basement of begging to be set free. Nothing like that.
Not at all.
But no, I think that's what I like about that is that it does have that old time feel. It has that that. Letting people know that it's like, look, we're not all, bad people. We're not, some of us are just, friendly and some of us just want to have a good time, and I think that's what's really cool about it. And honestly, I mean, any, get together, anything that happens like that, it's just, it's always got that, very cool, like home feel.
Well, and we're fortunate because, we sit in the driveway and all of this happens in the garage. Of course, all the food is in the garage, but through the garage, you go into our sunroom. And so the sunroom is a comfortable space with a table and chairs and a couch and, comfy furniture and TV out there. So we always have a scary movie playing and, candles burning and, it looks like we're going to sacrifice someone at some point in time, but we haven't done that long time. So, and then through the sunroom, if it's not raining, we have a fire pit in the back. People can go out there and cook, so, I mean, our place isn't big, but it gives you places to go.
Oh no, there's
and enjoy
there's
your
a lot
food.
of space.
And do that. I think we're going to do, we have a scary backdrop to put on the fence.
Oh, sweet.
And for people to take pictures. So it's a spooky thing that I found. And I'm like, we're going to tack that right on the fence.
That's awesome.
I hope our neighbor doesn't mind. It's her fence.
I think that she'll be fine with it.
She'll probably come. So anyway, I keep looking over here and looking at Buddy the Elf's crotch. Oh, it's a little disturbing.
That is something for Christmas. And it'll be
very Christmassy.
It'll be fun. To officially wrap us up, I wanted to share with them one of my favorite scary movie memories that I have with you, because we did not know what we were getting ourselves into, and we went in completely with our guard down.
Okay.
And I think it was the time that it was either like you or Dad had picked it up. It was the trio DVD thing it was Vincent Price movies, and it was The Last Man on Earth and one other movie, and it was House on Haunted Hill.
Oh, shut up.
That is now, guys, I understand there's probably a lot of people that have not seen this movie, but if you want just a good time of a movie that I don't know if I would say that it necessarily holds up in a lot of the different ways they do things, but it is just a good, fun, scary movie. And it was just good.
In the black and white realm of those movies, I mean, you can't go wrong with Vincent Price anyway. But that movie, I enjoy watching that movie a lot. Yeah. It's creepy.
It's
just creepy. It's good and creepy. Yeah, you remember that.
I do. And there was a moment, I'm not going to spoil it for anybody that hasn't seen it, but there was a jump scare that happened in that movie that it was basically two characters are trying to replicate the sound that just happened, and they're in the basement. And it's something to the effect of okay, I'm going to knock here. I'm going to go on the other side. You tell me if you can hear me. And I remember the two of us were just sitting on the couch and we were just like, oh, this is going to be fun. It's Vincent Price. So good. And this moment happened. And I remember being genuinely terrified. I went from, oh, this is going to be just, a normal, just, fun viewing experience to what the hell did we get ourselves into? Because it's cool whenever those older movies can still catch you off guard, because Vincent Price knew exactly what he was doing with those movies. He was just so damn good at it.
Well, all he had to do, first of all, was speak. And then he just had an aura about him, the way he carries himself and the way he, his facial expressions, and, he talks and it's just creepy. I mean,
there'll be food, drink, and ghosts.
Yeah. I wouldn't have wanted to have him raise me. That would have been terrifying.
Can you imagine being Vincent Price's grandchild? And that's one for the books. Yeah.
But yeah, those old black and white movies, I think now that I'm older, it's a long time. But I gravitate to those a lot. It's almost like comfort food in a way. I like to watch them. They don't scare me, but they just give you that atmosphere of, I'll watch anything in a castle.
Yeah.
If there's Dracula. One of my favorite ones is The Bat. The Bat.
Oh my! I've not seen that in a long time.
The Bat is still such a good movie. Yeah, and Dora from Bewitched is in that one.
Oh my God! Okay, yeah.
It's a little weird. This
is not what I was expecting.
Yeah,
yeah.
That black and white stuff, don't knock it till you try it, people.
No, if you want to, it's if you want to know where horror really started, or like when it was in its infant stage, it's especially too, because we've talked about it a couple of times, but when Zombie was talking about it with Rogan, and he was just like, dude, he's like, you look at Boris Karloff as, you know, as Frankenstein, it's like they just got it so right the first time.
Yeah.
And it's like, and just like everything about like film at that point was just so iconic.
Yeah.
Of just what they were able to do. Like, you know, it's just everything. And it's like a lot of it still holds up in certain ways.
One of my favorite old school monsters is the Mummy.
Oh, really? Okay.
I don't know. There's something creepy about that. That shit should not be happening.
It's like, you are dead.
Yeah.
You've been dead a long time.
Yeah. I think just the whole concept of they're all wrapped up and it's like, I don't know what it is, but it just gives me, and you know what? I love the version of that Abbott and Costello Meet the Mummy.
Oh my God.
Those are so great.
Again, that is just if you just want to shut your brain off and just have a great time.
Yeah.
It's just a bucket of popcorn and just like, oh, like what crazy stuff's going to happen.
And laugh and yet it still has a creep element to it still.
Yeah.
So, oh yeah, we maybe have educated you a little bit today.
I think it was the one with Dracula where it was either Abbott or Costello, but he ended up hypnotizing them, and it's like they were just like locked in the trance and stuff. And it's like there is that element that you're right, like there is that creep factor there, but then also like they're making that goofy face where it's like you're like, oh, this is like, it is scary because this is literally the Dark Lord is here, you know, but it's, you know, you're still finding a way to like, you know, take some humor out of it and just, or take the humor out of it and just enjoy it, you know? So
there's so much good horror out there that it can just be fun. Mm-hmm. I love that. And, you know, with our movie room upstairs, you can really just kind of disappear. Yeah. Up there and feel cozy and just, I don't know, it's better. It's just better. Better. Yeah. We're surrounded by movie posters. We decided to give that a facelift. So we got movie posters and that's all that's up there other than Chandler's toys.
Yeah, right.
So,
right. Yeah.
you know, the Terminator isn't quite as horrifying with the pink castle sitting beside it, but we work with it.
Why did you put this below me? Yeah. This is my movie.
So yeah, I think your dad and I are gonna pursue that vision up there that we're.
Oh, talking about doing like watch movies and like do the whole thing. Yeah,
I think we're gonna strictly try to keep it to thrillers and horror. Mm-hmm. Don't know how that's going to work. We're not very tech savvy people. Mm-hmm. I'm good to use my phone. Right.
I can pay my bills and that does it. Yeah.
Yeah. But we have a thought and we have to prepare for it a little bit. We have some stuff to get. So, but it's the perfect place to do it. It's quiet. It really is. Yeah. It's quiet. And, so it'd be all webby. Webby.
The Webby viewing experience. So yeah, I don't know what you'll name it, but yeah. So, but yeah. But either way, guys, I think that it's been a lot of fun to be able to have you on, and just thank you for doing this.
Well,
and thank
thanks
you
for having me. This is fun.
It's honestly that whenever we can get you on again, and anytime that we get to just make some videos with you, everybody really enjoys it. You're a biker mom, so people want to be able to connect with you, and then. I'm sure there will be plenty of fun comments and everything underneath of this too. So,
please be gentle.
Yeah, right. And go easy on her.
Yeah, please go easy. She's
a mom.
Me. I am. I try. I just, it's hard to not have fun with the two of you in the room.
Well, that's nice to know because I'm just happy everybody's still here. So.
Yeah, that's my big blessing. So, anytime spent with any of my kids is a good time.
Yeah. Well, anytime spent with you is an awesome time too. And it's been that way since I was a kid, and it has never changed. So the fact that we get to share this and show this to everybody is just really wild. So,
yeah.
But nevertheless, guys, if you've enjoyed this and if you want to see more episodes with Mom, let us know. And if you want to see some themed episodes with her, what would you like to see us talk about? And Mom, is there anything that you would like to tell everybody before we jump off here? Is there anything that's just on your mind that you want them to know?
Yeah, everybody go watch The Old House on Haunted Hill.
What are you doing with your time?
Damn, do that. You won't regret it. Well, you might, but you'll have fun getting there. So
you can't go wrong with it.
No, not at all. Thanks for watching. I hope this turns out good for you.
No, it'll be just fine. We love you guys, and we'll see you in the next one. Adios.